what's going on, guys? We are going to be doing a snatch tutorial, okay? How to full snatch in Olympic weightlifting, how I like to teach it to people who have never done the Olympic lifts before, and how I like to break it down so it makes sense for you guys. So I'm gonna take you through a raw, uncut video, just exactly how I would teach someone to snatch or how I would teach myself. And you guys can watch this video and hopefully it helps you, learn how to snatch by yourself. Of course, before this, I say, obviously this is my opinion. This is how I would teach snatch based on my experience and my abilities as an athlete, both as a coach. I would always recommend someone to get coaching before watching a YouTube video on how to snatch. But I know a lot of you guys out there don't sometimes have the budget for it, or the time or resources. So sometimes it's good to have some good educational content out there from credible sources. So that's what we're going to be hitting today, guys. How to full snatch. So starting off, guys, the basics, all right? Figuring out our grip width, all right? So firstly, I'm gonna pick up the barbell. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find where my grip goes. Now, obviously in a snatch, I'm not going close grip, okay? That's gonna be a clean, right? But I'm also not gonna go super, super wide unless I'm quite tall. What I do is I like to find where the ring is on the barbell, and I like to go just a little bit out there. That's what feels comfortable for me. One way you can test this properly is you can push down like this, and you can feel where that bar is. If it's nice on your hip crease and it feels solid, that's where your grip is going to be. So that's how you determine your grip width in the snatch, okay? Once we've got our grip width, okay, we're going to now start learning how to snatch. So what we want the snatch to look like before we even start learning it, having a good example, shoulders over, close, down into the squat. That's what we're trying to achieve today, okay? A full snatch or a squat snatch, as the CrossFitters refer to. So, first step in the snatch is getting our grip width, which we got. We're now working on our set position, okay? Now, I like to always cue keeping the shoulders over the bar just a little bit. This allows you to get better contact and also keep the bar a little bit close to your thighs. Now, in the snatch, it's really important we keep the bar close at all times, okay? A lot of people make this mistake where they'll try and go around the contact and bang the bar out of our hips, because you see most Olympic athletes or world level weightlifters get real aggressive hip contact, or you can hear the sound of the bar. Guys, they're not trying to get hip contact. What we're trying to do is keep the bar close and let the hips come through naturally. So if you're trying to get hip contact, that's not what you should be doing. You should be trying to keep the bar close. So what we're doing, first step, we've got our grip, is we're gonna determine our set position. So I'm gonna always put my feet slightly pointed out, like so. Okay, toes slightly pointed out, a little bit in from shoulder width. I'm gonna keep my back nice and tight. My shoulders are gonna go over the bar like so. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on keeping the bar close, like so. So let's do 3 snatch deadlifts. So knees out, close, close. Okay, notice how, guys, there's no distance. I'm dragging that bar on my body. My back's nice and tight, my chest is up, and I'm keeping it close. Now that I'm keeping the bar close, and I know it's not about banging the bar out, it's just simply about keeping the bar close, I'm gonna work on the second phase. So the second phase now is doing a deadlift, but adding a shrug at the top, okay? But whilst also going on the toes. So down, feet slightly pointed out, deadlift, 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 toes and shrug. Okay, so again, close, 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 toes and shrug, all right? I don't wanna see that just yet, because that's our next phase. We're just working on going on the toes and shrugging, okay? So again, shrug, shrug. Now that we've got the toes and shrug, we're gonna work on actually pulling the bar high like a big upright row. So here, toes, shrug, pull high. So I'm gonna go onto my toes, open up and shrug with the elbows, okay? I like to cue scarecrow here, okay? Thinking like I'm looking like a scarecrow because I'm staying vertical, but I'm not pulling back too much, right? So again, nice and close, shrug up. We'll go one more, shrug up. All right, guys, we're nearly there. Now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be going into a power power snatch. Okay, so this is where we're pulling it up and we're catching the bar above parallel. Now, with the power snatch, there's two ways we can do this. We can move our feet real wide, or we can just move the feet slightly out. Now, for today's video purpose, because we're learning how to snatch, we're going through a full tutorial of that. I want you just to move your feet slightly out, okay? So just thinking like you're moving your feet out to where you would normally do a squat. So if I was to get you just to do a squat right now, that's where you want your feet to ideally go when we're doing the power snatch, okay? So we're gonna put everything together that we've known, all right? Close to our body, deadlift, toe shrug, elbows up, jumping under. 1. Let's go 2 more. Nice and close, shrug. Good, and let's go 1 more. Boom. So now that we've done the power snatch, we're gonna go into a power snatch plus overhead squat. So we're gonna link them together, okay? Now, each repetition that you do, I wanna see the fluency of the movement pick up. I wanna see it increase a little bit, okay? So I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, getting our grip like normal, gonna go into the power snatch, and then come down into an overhead squat, okay? Let's go again. Overhead squat. Now, watch me pick up the fluency now. A little bit faster. Let's go 1 more. Boom. Last thing that we're gonna do now is we're gonna put it all together. We're gonna do the full snatch. So if you've followed all these steps and instructions correctly, you should now be in a position where you can get down into a full snatch. Now, everyone's different. Everyone has different flexibility and mobility limitations. Some of you might not be able to go all the way down into a squat. Some of you might not have Olympic lifting shoes, which has an elevated heel. That's okay. Do it as best you can, okay? Now, the thing with Olympic weightlifting, specifically the snatch, is it's all about practice. So the more we do the movement, the more efficient we get, the better it gets, okay? So if you are watching me do this and you're like, I can't do that, that's completely fine. You need to practice it a little bit more. When you're starting out weightlifting, I would recommend doing the full snatch movement 3 times per week and allocating 30 minutes per time doing the snatch, okay? And you can range the sets and reps from 3 repetitions up to 5 sets like that, building up to 80%, something that's really light. Even if you don't know what your best snatch is, just something that feels like it's around 70% of what you could do, okay? Snatch. So notice how when I'm doing this, guys, it does look quicker, but I'm focusing on riding the bar down. I'm just not doing it like I was doing the power snatch overhead squat. I'm working on the fluency, and obviously I've been doing weightlifting for 10 plus years, so it feels quite easy for me. But I'm still focusing on catching high and riding it down. It just looks a little bit quicker. I'll slow it down for you guys so you can see. Like so. Now normal pace. That's how we snatch. So we're gonna load the weight up a little bit, okay? We're gonna build up to just 110 kilograms. I'm just doing a morning session here. I'm gonna do 3 sets of 3 at that weight so you guys can see how it looks at a heavier weight. Now, 110 kilograms for me is around 75, 70%. So it's not a heavy weight, but it's just something that's gonna get me moving, and you guys are gonna grasp a concept of how we're snatching. Now, some things to note. It's real important when you're snatching that you're moving your feet to the side, okay? We always wanna make sure that where our feet are starting, we're always moving them out slightly. Why is this? Well, so we have a more stable support base overhead, okay? If we're moving our feet in, the catch position is gonna be like that. It's not gonna be stable. Versus me going out, I'm gonna be so much more upright and stable. So we always wanna make sure that our feet are moving to the side, all right? Last thing, keep tension in your upper back at all times. Do not lift like that. Squeeze your back, stay nice and tight, okay? Tension from the start will allow for tension in the catch, which will make you snatch better. So the 2 biggest things I would focus on when I'm doing snatching is tension in my upper back, so making sure I'm nice and tight, keeping the bar close and not trying to get hip contact like we discussed before, and of course, moving the feet to the side. And the last thing, which really isn't a tip, is just practice, 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 okay guys? If you're a beginner and you've just learned snatching, great. Practice it 3-4 times per week at a light percentage. The more practice, the better, okay? It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert in anything you do. And the same applies for Olympic weightlifting, okay? So that's how we're gonna snatch. Let's go up to some weight and show you how it's done. thanks for watching, guys. So as always, like, comment, and subscribe to help support the channel. If you want to get individual coaching, like I said, I would always recommend having a personal coach watch you doing the Olympic lifts, especially in that early beginner phase when you're trying to learn them. Not saying it's essential, but it's very, very highly recommended. And obviously, as a coach, I could see the benefit of doing that. Okay, I learned to lifting when I was younger by myself for the first 6 months. It is my biggest regret to this day because I learned so many bad habits and it took so long to undo those bad habits, and some of them I still kind of roll with today. So really, really important that you get a coach from the start. If you're looking at coaching, Sydney, Australia, that's where I'm based. Just DM me on either Instagram or respond here on YouTube. Online coaching options are available as well as programming only options like that. But guys, put value and investment into your training. This is just a simple guide as to how I would teach someone to learn snatching from a base like so. Nothing super detailed, but I'm sure this will definitely help you guys understand how to snatch long term. Okay, so please guys, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.